homages. Buddham. I'll forget everything.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Everybody. Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami. Good morning and welcome to our Reno Buddhist Center. So happy to see all of you, our special friends here, and some of you still at home. That's okay. If you're new for the first time, I want to offer you a special welcome. Thank you for coming and taking the courage to walk through doors you've never walked through before. It's always exciting and is literally an adventure. That's what adventure means, is the first time. So, we begin our service today by chanting the Shoshinge and offering incense. For those who are new to our temple, the Shoshinge is chanted from this book that you may find in the seat back pocket in front of you, unless you're in an exit row, in which case it's behind you. Just kidding, that's not really an exit row thing. Open the book in this way, which is the way book binding occurs in Japan, and we start chanting in these vertical columns. So if you chant it the other way, it doesn't make any sense at all. Everyone is welcome to chant along with us, or you can read the English translation at the bottom if you just want to start from there. Chanting is a core practice of our tradition. The most important thing is to feel the positive energy generated when we're all chanting together. The Shoshinge compresses the experiences and insights of Pure Land Buddhism into one pleasant poem. Shinran Shonin wrote this poem 850 years ago, but when we chant it, he's with us today as well. So, in it we realize the principles that guide our lives. Shinran wants us to know that life is more than a simple journey from cradle to grave. We are part of a long, unbroken thread of life, which extends deep into the past, and it's our responsibility to continue that thread in compassion onward into the future. And then there's the incense offering. During the Shoshinge chant, everyone is encouraged to offer incense here at the Oshoko altar, or at your home altar if you're watching from beyond. The incense offering is a cleansing of the mind and body before receiving the Dharma. In the old days, they thought that the smoke would remove any evil spirits from us. We're modern people, so we don't believe any of that. But we can learn from this idea that the little granules of incense are separate, and then once they're freed, then they're all kind of interconnected. So that's a metaphor or a description of reality as it is. We have two other altars in the Hondo. On this side, there's the altar to Kannon Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva of compassion. So if someone has someone in their life or themselves who needs a little extra compassion, then people will light a candle over there. And then this altar here on the north side is to the Medicine Buddha. So if there are specifically medically oriented issues or problems, that's a good place to ask for help. Here on the altar is Amida Buddha, offering boundless wisdom and compassion to us all. Please offer incense with an open heart and deep gratitude to all your teachers.
Shoshinge. Kimyo Junyorai. Namu Fukashigi Ko Hozo Bosai Niji. Zai Seiji Zai Obusho Token Shobu Jodo In Kokudo Ninden Shizen Maku Konru Mujo Shushogan Choho Keu Daiguze Goko Shiyui Shishoju Juse Myosho Monji Po Uho muryo muhenko, muge mutaiko enno, shoujo kangi chieko, udan nanshi mushoko, chonichiga ko shojinsei, isai gunjo mukosho, hongan yogo shoujogo, Shishin Shingyo Ganni In Joto Gaksho Dai Nehan Hishi Metndo Ganjoju Nyorai Shoi Koshu Se Yui Se Mida Hongong Kai Rojoku Wakuji Gunjo Kai Hoshin Nyorai Nyojitgon Noho Ichinen Kiai Shin Fudan Bon no Tokune Han Bonsho Gyaku Hosai Eiyu Nyoshu Shinyu Kai Chimi Seishu Shin Kojo Shogo Ino Sui Ha Mumyoan Tonnai Shinzo Shi Unmu Kushinji Shinjin Ten Hinyoni kofu unmu, unmu shige myomuan, yakushin kenkyo daikyo ki, sokuo chose go akushu, isai zenmaku bonbunin, monshin yorai guzegan, utngon kodai shogeisha, zeini myo fundarike, Midabu Honganenbu Jaken Kyoma Nakushujo Shingyo Juji Jinni Nan Nanchu Shinan Mukashi Indo Saiten Shironge Chukajichi Iki Shikoso Kendai Shoko Se Shoi Nyon Rai Honze Oki Shaka Nyorai Yoga Sen Ishu Gomyon Nanten Jiku Ruju Daiji Shutto Se Shitno Zai Ha Umu Ken Sensei Daijo Mujo Ho Shokangi Ji Shoan Raku Kenji Nangyo Rokuroku Shingyo Igyo Shidoraku 億年弥陀武本願次年即時入筆上唯の上昇如来語王法大悲偶税音天神菩薩増論世奇妙無下根如来永寿ただ謙信寺高専王朝大聖願こういう本願力栄光移動群上昇維新記入功徳大崩壊筆脈入大永寿主特使蓮華造世界即昇進用法昇進有本の人間人図入生自音自用芸本自動乱両天使上皇乱生菩薩来三蔵如是十上教恩賞専業喜楽法天神菩薩論中芸報道因果見世願王言栄光ゆ他力少女死因唯心人惑前本部新人法承知承知即涅槃必死無量根陽道小宇宙上開復系同社継承道南省唯名浄土活入万全自力変言宗円満特語感染症三風三神慶音言増魔法明道非因一生増惑地偶税思案妖怪称名化全道独名無所依法愛上三両逆惑公明明語見因念介入本願大智慧行者小樹金剛心狂気一年総合用意大と逆三人即所法所至上楽現心公開一大教変気安養神祭先祖出身反戦人法華二道小弁流極十悪人唯勝部火薬剤非正集中煩悩証言水不見大悲無見上昇が本次元空明仏教連民全幕本部人新宗教書後編集戦弱本願具悪性現来生じ臨伝芸慶地義上位昇し即入弱上無意楽非知心地にの流苦境大自主死と上際無変極辱悪同族自主愚道心唯過信しこそせナムアミダハブナムアミダハブナムアミダハムナムアミダブナア Namu, Namu. Midajobu no kono kata wa ima ni jiko he tamae eri honshim no kouri iyanum ki wa amona aku se no mo myo o terasunari. Eko. Ganishi kudoku Byodo sei sai dohon bodai shin ojo wa an ra ko. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. A little switcheroo this morning. Let's sing the children out to Dharma school with Reverend Matthew. Da 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 da. There we go. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk, just walk. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk, just walk. Let the Buddha walk with you. Let the Buddha walk with you. Namandaps, namandaps, namandaps.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Jinin Sutra, the old one. Thus I have heard. On one occasion, the Buddha was staying near Rajagaha at the Bamboo Grove Monastery, in a place called the Squirrel's Sanctuary. Then Venerable Maha Kassapa sat quietly by the Buddha. After a long time in silence, the Buddha said, "You are now old, Kassapa, and you still wear robes made by heavy cast-off rags. You still eat what the forest offers. You live in nature. After so long, you may now wear fresh robes donated by householders. You may eat invitational meals and live near me in the monastery." Kassapa replied, "Dear teacher, for so long I have lived in nature and have extolled living in nature. I have received what nature offers. I have lived simply and praised simplicity. Living in the forest, I have been content, modest, solitary, unentangled. I have extolled these virtues to others, and I have been persistent in my Dharma study and praise persistence." But Kassapa, what compelling reason do you see for your long time living in nature and praising life in nature? Dear teacher, I see two compelling reasons. There I can abide in deep mindfulness and finding pleasant abiding for myself in this moment, the here and now. I feel sympathy for later generations. Perhaps later generations will take my dwelling in the forest as an example. They will think, "It seems that students of the Buddha and those who awakened after him abided in nature, received what it offered, lived simply, modestly, content, solitary, and unentangled. This aided them in sustained study of the Dharma." Good, Kassapa, very good. You are one who practices for the happiness of many out of compassion for the world, for the welfare, benefit, and happiness of all beings. So continue wearing your old robes, receive what nature gives, and live in nature for the sake of all. We will now have a few moments of meditation accompanied by music.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hopefully this works. Come on. Yes. Okay. I always have a paper backup, just in case. So nice to be here with you today on this beautiful fall day. Fall is my favorite season. I just love it. Just goes right into my heart. So we are here for everyone. This is your spiritual home, your refuge. And Reverend Matthew and I are here whenever you need us. Sharing the Dharma together and growing together. That is the purpose of Reno Buddhist Center. So thank you to all of you who joined in to help with our last Moon Rabbit Cafe of 2022. It was a rounding success. Thank you for the volunteers who helped, and thank you for the guests who came. So we're very happy that we ended successfully, and we will carry on in 2023. So it's very important to weave that community together by offering delicious food and the means for everyone to join at the table together. No matter what your background, what your beliefs, we're human beings and we sit and we dine together. And that is very important. Today I want to share some thoughts on naturalness. How it is the way to enlightenment. The great natural way. The ultimate goal of Pure Land Buddhism was summed up by Honen. Honen is one of our teachers up here. He's called Genku. And he said, "Flames rise to the sky. Water flows downward. Among fruits, some are sour and some are sweet. All this according to the fundamental flow of naturalness." In Japanese, we call it jinen. These things are obvious in the natural world, and the flow simply points to things as they actually are. But sentient beings find it very difficult to align ourselves with just the way things are. Jinen is such a difficult word to translate into English, so we accept naturalness as the best translation. But it has lots of not quite right. In English, naturalness implies a primitive state of being. Jinen does not. Philosophers talk about a natural or primal people, primal urges. This is not Jinen. Really, Jinen is the highest state of being, reached by human consciousness, when we are liberated from the scheming, calculating self. As Shinran describes it, a person becomes naturalness through effort and dedication until this very special effortlessness is realized. We call that Jinen. In the larger Sutra of Immeasurable Life, the Buddha mentions Jinen. Why do you not diligently practice good, reflect on naturalness, Jinen, the way, and realize that it is above all discrimination and judgment? Naturalness is boundless and pervasive. Escape from samsara and be born in the land of peace. It rejects no one. It naturally and unfailingly attracts all beings. Spiritual growth happens spontaneously by Jinen, in and of itself. The Pure Land naturally and unfailingly attracts beings. This is the working of the vow of Amida, Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite wisdom, infinite light. And certainly it's not the result of our individual ego's self-will. Our endless calculating and manipulating is a dead end when it comes to spiritual growth. Study the great natural way. Shinran's naturalness resonates with the story of Patakara, who was a nun from the Pali Sutras of Indian Buddhism. One day, Patakara found herself despondent, comparing herself to a farmer, working hard in the field, plowing, planting, harvesting, and so acquiring some wealth, and raising a large and happy family. The farmer gets results and is rewarded for hard work. Why, she asks herself, can't I get results and attain my goal in the spiritual life? Patakara is confused and lost, but suddenly she has a profound turning of the mind when she experiences water flowing downward. In her words, she wrote, "Having washed my feet, I paid attention to the water, seeing the foot water flowing down. This concentrated my mind like a noble thoroughbred horse. Then, taking the lamp, I entered my hut and sat down. I drew out the lamp wick with a needle. It burned bright. When I pushed it down and felt the complete release of my mind, that was nirvana." Patakara was awakened by something so simple as the natural flow of water, with her mind so concentrated on self and things as they are. Her years of spiritual quest reached their height, and with the dimming of the lamp, her wanting for results also waned, and enlightenment flowed in naturally through Jinen. Every moment in our life together abounds with meaning and significance. The role of the Buddha's Dharma is truly to see suffering of sentient beings and point out the cause, recognize it, that it can end, and offer the great natural way. That is Buddhism, to reach joy and peace naturally. Honen's flames rise to the sky and water flows downward concludes with, he wrote, "Since Amitabha's vow that all sentient beings will be guided to the sacred name when we say Namu Amida Butsu, single-heartedly, the welcome of the Buddha is always realized naturally." Shinran learned from Honen, and he gave his own understanding of naturalness in the letter explaining Jinen. Shinran writes, "Ji means of itself, not through the practicer's calculation. Nen means is made so, not through the practicer's calculation, but through the working of Amida Buddha's vow. The working of the vow happens when there is no calculation on the part of the practicer. Know, therefore, that in other power, the working is true working. The life of naturalness is not for discussion or debate. Life is for living." Some modern psychologists who study happiness have called Jinen the flow. We might have all heard that, when we're in the flow. When we are in the flow, we lose ourself, and it's very annoying monkey mind chattering when we're in the flow. Imagine what flowing through the day without commentary and criticism of the self would be like. We're constantly criticizing and commentating to ourselves. The flow state comes to us all from time to time. We've probably all experienced it. I have studied the art of peace, called Aikido, for many years. I remember once, during my 3rd degree black belt test, I was exerting myself. A lot of energy was flowing out and flowing through me in a practice called Randori. It's a practice where multiple people come attack you all at the same time. It can be quite scary, but if you're in the flow, You don't even think about it, you just flow, because you have to. So I remember not feeling separate from the mat we were practicing on or from my partners. We were all just one, flowing naturally together. One after another, as they came, my responses flowed with their attacks. There was no time for thinking, no time for second guessing or calculation. Just a natural sequence of ki, of energy flowing. I didn't feel separate, but there was a oneness. Unaware of oneness. I had trained and studied technique and spent years and years on the mat for that one unrepeatable moment. Without distraction or judgment, I didn't think about where the others were on the mat. Pure movement and response, leading them and responding to them. Nothing more. All the years of work culminate in being pure Aikido. The belt is just a byproduct. Just so we can live life without distraction or judgment. Don't worry what others may think. Just be pure living, nothing more. All the years of work culminate in being pure living. Enlightenment is just a byproduct. This being in the flow happens all around us. Imagine 2 friends after work stop in the park and play a silent game of chess. The potter, feeling the clay spin, composes form without thinking. The baker making her 10,000th loaf of bread, just kneading the dough. In our Shin Buddhist tradition, the Myokonin are exemplary people known for this flow state. We have quoted Saichi, the clog maker, many times, abiding in gratitude for Amida Buddha's compassion as the knife carves the clogs. The last stage of the spiritual life for Buddhists is realization. Myokonin Ichitaro said it this way: all things, just as they are, means this: we do all kinds of difficult and painful practices. We travel to all kinds of places, only to discover that we didn't have to do a thing or go anywhere. The things are just as they are. In Zazen training, we spend many long, painful years sitting in meditation, just to become nothing special. No pretense, no angst, just the self becoming itself. Shinran said, Amida Buddha fulfills his purpose by making us know the meaning of Jinen. I am always intrigued how Shinran Shonin used the word Jinen. By it he meant experiencing the natural unfolding and fundamental interconnections shared by all beings. Dynamic interconnection. When we see with naturalness, we feel at peace inside, and we see everything connected, being integral to all of this wondrous, wonderful life. A warm emotional quality comes from feeling fundamentally connected with the natural unfolding of everything. We are of a kind, you and I. We can feel this in nature when we are quiet and mindful. We experience Jinen. The 18th century priest Ryokan wrote a poem about Amida Buddha, expressing this feeling. When I think about all their misery, their sadness becomes mine. If only my robe were wide enough to gather up all the suffering people in this world. Nothing brings me more joy than Amida Buddha's vow to save everyone. realizing that we are fellow beings bonded by an inseparable togetherness of natural unfolding. Like the Buddha, we look for a resolution to misery for the sake of all. The answer is the 18th vow, Amida Buddha's promise to bring all beings to oneness, clarity, and understanding, to enlightenment. The vow embraces all beings just as they are. Like Ryokan's robe, Jinen gathers up everything, everyone, and embraces them. The great vow offers a practical path to get there, the Nembutsu, an easy practice for anyone to transform, to be transformed. Namu Amida Butsu. Shinran ends his letter on Jinen with this. After we have realized this, we should not be forever talking about Jinen. If we continuously discuss Jinen, the truth is that no working is true working. And it will again become a problem of working, a matter of inconceivable Buddha wisdom. What is to say, just don't think about Jinen too much. Just to gently observe. The great natural way leads to peace. Its flow is very subtle, but very powerful. Observe other power in your life. Awakening to our all-togetherness gives rise to gratitude, to the peace inside of us, inner peace, gratitude expressed through spontaneous, natural Nembutsu. Namandaps, 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 namu amida butsu. We are at our best when we are naturally moved by the Dharma, and the feeling of deep interconnection with others expands the circle of the little me to encompass all. All beings in the 10 directions, everything, everywhere. Amida made the vow for our sake, for the sake of all beings suffering from self-mindedness. Take some time today to pause and observe Jinen unfolding in the great natural way. And you will know what it feels like. Let us join in the great loving kindness of the universe by repeating, may you be happy. May you be happy. May you be free from harm. May you receive boundless compassion. And may peace and harmony fill your hearts. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Thank you so very much. We will now rise as you wish to chant our temple song, written long ago by someone, maybe Debbie Reynolds. I know she used to sing it, from How the West Was Won. We've tweaked it a little because it was Reverend Alicia's favorite song. Reverend Alicia. Away, away, come away with me, where the grass grows wild and the wind blows free. Away, away, come away with me, and I'll build you a home in the meadow. Come, come, there's a wondrous land for the hopeful heart and the willing hand. Come, come, there's a wondrous land where I'll build you a home in the meadow. the stars, oh how bright and far, the world of pure and eternal law. The stars, oh how bright they'll shine on the home we will build in the meadow. Come, come, there's a wondrous land for the hopeful heart and the willing hand. Come, come, there's a wondrous land where I'll build you a home in the meadow. Thank you. When Dr. Matsunaga first introduced this song to us probably 20 years ago, we would sing to an old cassette tape of Debbie Reynolds. And when she would come to town, sometimes to the casino, we dreamed of inviting her here to sing it live for us. But nobody had the courage to ask her. And then that tape got really stretched out, and our singing got very slow and wobbly. So we decided we better just do it ourselves. But I kind of missed the tape. But you do it wonderfully. So thank you so much for being here. And we have tea time and newcomer circle downstairs, as always. And if you are new, please join George and Reverend Matthew downstairs to engage in conversation or ask a question. And if you are not new, you can engage in Stump the Priest, which Reverend Matthew always enjoys. And new things going on. So next Sunday is our annual Pet Blessing Day, which is one of my favorites. So if you have a furry little friend, or feathery, or even scaly, but I'll have Reverend Matthew bless any snakes. We've never had a snake. We have had a chicken named Nugget. And we have had a gecko named Henrietta. So I hope Henrietta comes back. And we have lots of dogs usually. A few cats. Cats usually don't like to be transported. But yes, so please, we will gather outside next Sunday between 3 and 5. And we will send your dear family member lots of love and healing and compassion to be specially honored. So please come. If your dear one has passed, you may bring a photo, and we will bless your dear one's photo. Okay. Well, thank you all very, very much, and we will see you downstairs, or see you at Joyful Chanting on Tuesday nights, or Dharma Book Group on Wednesday nights, or Golden Light Meditation on Thursday nights. Thank you.